सुरक्षा नहीं है तो विकास नहीं हो सकता, सुरक्षा नहीं है तो तरक्की नहीं हो सकती है, सुरक्षा नहीं है तो हम आगे की दुनिया के ख्वाब नहीं देख सकते। देश में नागरिक की सुरक्षा नागरिक होने की वजह से न सिर्फ हक है, जरूरी है।
I'm glad somebody has said this. It's a matter of shame for this nation that the Vice President has to come out and talk about giving security and justice to people from whatever ilk or community they may be. It's an incident that is the culmination of years of work by RSS, its related organization, the Bharatiya Janata Party, the outlook towards community and society that Mr. Modi and his people represent, and it's really very clearly something that was perhaps an incident cannot be planned, but whose occurrences were planned. It's a platform that has been set by the Sangh Parwar, the BJP, Mr. Modi and his people, and this is the kind of thing that is happening.
Well, let's go back to my colleague Iknoor joining us from on ground with further details. So Iknoor, while the blame game between these political players continues to go on, tell us a little more about the family. How are they dealing with it this time? Because they have a confession which actually throws another angle altogether to this murder.
Yes, indeed. In fact, of course, the family is maintaining that so far they've not faced any problems with their neighbors or the people in this locality. They said they've always been living this proper brotherhood that's there in this entire village. And even on Eid, they made food and they gave it to several people. But after that, like a day or two after Eid, they started noticing how every time Mohammed Akhlaq would walk on the streets, there were a few people who used to pass comments calling him Pakistani, saying that that man walking in the kurta pajama is a Pakistani. Now, these are the kind of statements that clearly show that there was probably a section that was unhappy with him or with his community, and that, of course, with this entire rumor of him consuming beef probably aggravated those people, and then they made an announcement in the temple and called for the entire mob to gather and then dragged him out of the house. Clearly, in fact, there are remnants in the house. One can see the door broken, blood stains on the walls, clearly showing, actually retelling that horrific tale of what really took place on that night.
Okay, Iknoor, just stay with us on the phone. We have with us Mr. R.P. Singh joining us over the phone line of the BJP. Good morning, Mr. Singh. Your thoughts on what's really playing out there in Dadri village? It's interesting to see how once again political players, instead of actually, condemning this entire incident, the blame game continues to go on between the regional players as well as the central government. What's really happening, Mr. Singh?
It's very saddening that they are not able to manage a law and order situation and then they put the blame on the center. It's so sad, and Mr. Akhilesh Yadav should get up and try to work out his local problems. I mean, he can't blame for local problems to center. I mean, law and order, maintaining law and order is the issue of the center, not that of the, it's the issue of the state, not that of the center.
You know, we just heard the Chief Minister come out and say a couple of moments ago in the soundbite we were playing out for our viewers. He said that the export on beef ban should be stopped. Azam Khan says, you see, all five-star hotels are actually giving out beef on their menus. So why doesn't the government come out with a straight, strict policy of what is to be done with beef?
See, that's a dual speak. I mean, that's a double speak. When one side they say that beef should not be banned, Mr. Azam Khan is categorically saying that beef should not be banned, and he's been propagating that. But on the other side now, since this incident has happened, now they are saying that beef should be banned. So, okay, if they let them send a recommendation letter on this account to the central government. Let the state government send a recommendation letter on this to the central government. And then otherwise also, banning beef is a state issue.
But you know, Mr. Singh, the problem is this entire ban propaganda has actually been started by the BJP administration looking from the state of Maharashtra. If that wouldn't have happened, probably this death wouldn't have taken place in the first place because of that one particular state starting with the issue of beef ban. We've seen how this story has played across the country.
I'm sorry, you are setting it too far. I mean, Maharashtra...
Am I wrong? Am I wrong in saying that Maharashtra is the one who started with the story of beef ban? Isn't that the fact?
I'm sorry, you don't know the details then. Then before Maharashtra, there are other states where the beef was banned. I mean, so how do they relate? How do you relate to that? So issue is not that what state, it's a local state issue. First, it's a law and order issue. It's a local administration issue. And even if Mr. Akhilesh Yadav wants beef to be banned, then he should pass a resolution in his assembly and do it. I mean, who's stopping him from doing it?
You know, the accusation is that it is the BJP SP who have, of course, been indicted in that Sahai Commission report, which I'm sure you're also aware of what happened in Muzaffarnagar. It's these two parties that are being blamed for keeping the communal pot boiling in the state of Uttar Pradesh, Mr. Singh.
See, as far as Muzaffarnagar goes, there's a Supreme Court set already investigating into it. Let the report of the set come, because I totally don't accept the report of the commission, because it was being set up by the local government and it can be biased. So I don't accept the report. But whereas the beef ban goes, I mean, it's a pure blame game which Mr. Akhilesh Yadav is saying. It was a local issue, it was an administrative issue which they couldn't deal and which they couldn't settle. And it's not only Muzaffarnagar and this incident of Dadri. There have been many more incidents in last year and a half and two in UP which have fed into communal dimensions.
Okay, so you're of course saying that it is because of the law and order situation that they could not avert this particular incident. Thanks very much, Mr. R.P. Singh, for joining us with your inputs there. The BJP maintaining it's because of the Akhilesh Yadav administration that this incident has actually taken place, while the blame game there continues between the central and of course the regional party, the SP, ruling Uttar Pradesh at this point in time. Interesting to note how the union ministers are also playing this entire incident down. We saw how Mahesh Sharma yesterday, the culture minister, also came out and said that there seems to be an accident. But let me bring in Ms. Shaina NC of the BJP, who is also joining us over the phone line. Good morning, Ms. Shaina NC. The question is very simple. There has been a death over the issue of allegedly eating beef. The man has been killed. But why is it that our political players, be it the BJP, be it the SP, why are we playing politics over this death? Why can't we condemn what has happened and try and bring justice to the family, Ms. Shaina NC?
Absolutely, without a doubt. But can anyone take away from the fact that law and order is a state subject? And why shouldn't the Samajwadi Party be accountable? I want to question, for all these pseudo-seculars that constantly try to play a communal card in a law and order situation, isn't it unfortunate? This is a tragic incident that has taken place, but where was the police? Where was the political will to save a man from being beaten with...
Okay, we'll try and connect with Ms. Shaina NC once again, who's raising questions on the law and order situation and the machinery, the state machinery, particularly saying where was the police in the first place who could have averted this particular incident. Ms. Shaina NC, we seem to have lost that line with you. We'll try and connect once again, but that's the problem, isn't it? We're looking at the BJP raising questions for the SP pointing fingers towards the BJP, saying that they are continuing to polarize the atmosphere there in the state of Uttar Pradesh.